And good evening, everyone on the call. Do feel free to turn on your cameras if you feel so inclined to create more of an interactive, in-person kind of energy. This is not going to be an inspirational speech. Everyone here either stutters or has a loved one who stutters or works with people who stutter. And considering that every person on this call has their own journey with stuttering, I'm going to skip the specific details of my trajectory and share with you all 6 mindset shifts that changed my life as a person who stutters. If you're ready to go on this journey with me, please write "let's go" in the chat. Okay, if Andiamo has been written in the chat, I see Carolina is saying vamos. It's a resounding yes. Let's begin. Do you ever feel like you behave differently when you interact with other stutterers? For instance, within the context of an amazing CSA or NSA conference, compared to how you might interact with non-stutterers. If you feel like there is a difference in your behavior with stutterers versus your behavior with non-stutterers, please write yes in the chat. Yeah. And if you say yes, why do you think that is? If you could write just a few words in the chat. Okay, yeah. So there's more acceptance when it comes to interacting with people who stutter or people who are familiar with that world. I still remember the first time that I was at an event for people who stutter. It was in my late teenage years. I remember thinking, is there Xanax in the water here? I felt extremely relaxed in that environment right away. And for once in my life, I could connect with others freely. It felt extremely liberating. The next day, however, when I went back home, the severe social anxiety and extreme shyness came back right away. If you can relate, please raise your hand on Zoom or physically. Yeah. Okay. I see some hands. When I was around other stutterers, stuttering was the norm. And when stuttering was the norm, logically, it was no longer an issue. It's as though our stutters cancel themselves out and we behave as if we don't stutter. When stuttering is a non-issue, our real personality can flow. We can present ourselves to the world in the way that we've always wanted to. We can feel self-actualized, relaxed, authentic, and serene. What are some of the other adjectives that come to mind? If you can write some in the chat. I see here Sudeepa, who said free from judgment, from fear. I see the word calm. I see the word at peace. Uh, uh, I love what Carolina said. She felt fearless. When I wasn't around stutterers, my social anxiety was unbearable. My default behavior was to isolate myself. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Why engage the world when I could hide, when we could hide in the isolating yet comforting cocoon of our own silence? When I was 19 years old, I had this big family gathering to attend, and I I was really dreading it. The mere thought of having to go there and being asked questions by relatives and being unable to answer them, those thoughts really filled me with shame, embarrassment, and anger. I had to come up with an I had to come up with an exit plan, a covert operation, no pun intended. Honestly, intelligence agencies could learn a lot from us about how to fly under the radar. A few days before that gathering, I decided to do something rather odd. Right after I had taken my shower, I went outside with just a towel at night. And I stayed outside for half an hour, completely drenched, hoping to get sick, just so I would have a valid excuse to sit this one out. It didn't work because, as I later found out, that's not how we get sick. If anything, that exercise reinforced my immune system. The pain of feeling ashamed, embarrassed, and inferior every time that I spoke was truly paralyzing. In fact, I want to share another 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 story with you all. Has anyone here been to Austria? If you have, please write "yeah" in the chat. Okay, yeah. A few of you have. It's an amazing country, right? When I was 13 years old, I went on a family trip to Austria. We were in Vienna for 3 days. Day one, I see this girl with red hair, and my 13-year-old self finds her adorable. A few seconds later, she gets into a taxi with her mother and they leave. Day two, I am at the Museum of Music, and there she was, cute and cultured. My teenage self had excellent taste. I think about saying hello to her because 2 consecutive days in a big city is an astounding coincidence. But as I am drowning in my own head, she once again vanishes. Day 3. It's our last day in Vienna. I'm having lunch on a patio with my parents, my sister, and this couple that we had met at the hotel. My father proceeds to tell them all about the girl with the red hair. And as would any teenager being teased about his crush does, I look away, embarrassed, and with incomprehensible statistical absurdity, I see her. Everyone at the table starts cheering for me. 3 days in a row, they say. You have to speak to her. Exactly. Everyone conveyed what Adam said in the chat. Make your move. But the third time was not a charm. I just sat there, frozen with anxiety and paralyzed by one single thought. What would she say when she hears me stutter? If you've had your own Vienna moments, please write VM in the chat. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. This is how I lived until my mid-20s. Stuttering was an issue. It was the issue that controlled my life. And that made me hold back from speaking with the world. The question thus is, how do we make stuttering a non-issue so that we behave with non-stutterers the same way that we behave with stutterers? If we agree that this is an important question, please write agreed in the chat. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go through these 6 mindset shifts. The first mindset shift is we have to accept it. And I don't just mean accepting it one day a year when we are here or when we are involved with community events. I mean accepting it day in, day out. There's an awesome Chinese proverb that says, tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. We are people who stutter. If we truly accept it and never attempt to look fluent or like a normal speaker, stuttering cannot possibly create any psychological tension or discomfort for us. It's impossible. We may feel anxious about other things, like a coffee shop not having macadamia milk. Could you imagine? But once stuttering is deeply accepted, we can be significantly more relaxed and confident in social situations. So how do we practice this acceptance? Something that has helped me tremendously is mentioning it as soon as I meet new people. And something that I personally enjoy doing is joking about it. If when I was at a social gathering where alcohol was being served, this is how I would typically introduce myself to a group of people. I would say, hey, I'm Joze, and by the way, I'm not drunk or anything. I just have a stutter. Are you all having a good evening? Boom. In just a few words, I've mentioned it. I cracked a joke about it, which makes them relax, and it makes me relax. And when people realize that I don't take it too seriously, they have no reason to take it seriously themselves. Tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. The second mindset shift. The second mindset shift is what I call the golden rule of the golden rule of stuttering. So, first of all, what does the golden rule mean? It means we treat others the way that we would like to be treated. And to that, I add treat your treat your stutter the way you want others to treat it. If I have to introduce myself to someone and I say something like, "Hi, my name is Jose, and I thought you should know that I suffer from a stuttering condition. I've had it my entire life." This is one version. The other version might be, "Hi, my name is Jose, and by the way, I stutter, so some of my words might take their sweet time to come out. Uh, 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 anyway, how's the day going?" If you had to compare the two types of disclosure in the chat, how did the first one seem, and how did the second one seem? Yeah, exactly. The first one is apologetic and is also very, very serious. And even if something is a is a serious topic, it's up to us to make it sound less serious. And remember, we are trying to make stuttering a non-issue. This 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 does not mean that stuttering is not serious. It just means that we have decided to approach it in a light-hearted manner. And that's how others will approach our stutter as a result. The third mindset shift is to test our beliefs. I grew up with so many self-limiting beliefs about stuttering. A personal one of mine was that you could not possibly be confident or do well in the world of socializing or of dating with a stutter. Impossible. If you have ever held this belief or other self-limiting beliefs about stuttering, please write me in the chat. Exactly, Adam. We can date and party, and hopefully we'll get to properly party at at the conference next year in Niagara Falls. So I I have an interesting story about self-limiting beliefs. I remember this one time, my cousin, who had gone to a university in Boston was telling me about one of his best friends there. He tells me, Jose, this guy is insanely confident. He knows everyone in the city. He has dated more women than all of my friends combined. He is so charismatic, and everyone just falls in love with him. As I was listening to him, all I was thinking was, yeah, good for him. I have a severe stutter. This reality does not really apply to me. And that's what I tell my cousin. Immediately he cracks up. He cannot contain his laughter. I ask him, "Are you okay?" To which he replies, I cannot believe I forgot to mention this. This guy has a severe stutter. And in that moment, I felt like some of those self-limiting beliefs were vanishing. If it wasn't my stutter that prevented me from being social and confident, what was it? It was how I chose to deal with it. And while hearing exactly the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, and even the fear of success, while my cousin's story was powerful, my beliefs actually started to change through repeated exposure to social interactions. Changing beliefs is tough because it requires taking action. We cannot test social beliefs from the comfort of our own home. The social beliefs that we might hold about ourselves and the world have to be tested by putting ourselves in social situations. And in fact, one of the exercise I used to do before the pandemic, as part of the speech course that I had done, which I know a few people on this call had experienced in the past, Carolina, Lisa. Through this exercise, I would go to the mall or to the park or the streets, and I would ask for directions, or I would introduce myself to 100 people. And this exercise was all about desensitization to the fear. And I actually do have a short clip of me doing this exercise at a park in downtown Toronto called Trinity Wellwoods Park. I'm sure a lot of you know that park. And this clip was recorded by a filmmaker who is currently making a documentary about my journey. I was able to get approval from her to share this short clip with you all today. Let's watch it.
Okay, I can see that. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
me, guys. Hi. I have a stutter, and today I'm just challenging myself by having super quick conversations with as many people as possible as an exercise to work on my stuttering and improve my speech. I know I interrupted something that seemed very divine. Huh?
You can pull a goddess card. You have to pull a goddess card. That I remember you from Speaker Slam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw you. I was like, I know that guy from Speaker Slam. I did Speaker Slam. You did it before. I think one.
Yeah. I'm Joze Piranian. It's really an absurd coincidence.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I could tell as soon as I.
The energy here is really good. These days are super nice.
I could tell right away as soon as I walked in that this isn't the average group of people. It's like hashtag Nirvana over here.
I was told later that she had been on The Bachelor or some kind of show like that. If you had to describe the interaction or exercise in one word, I would love to read some adjectives in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a journey of desensitization. The fourth mindset shift is to show interest in other people. Everyone has obstacles, fears, insecurities. People have their own stutter. I'm sure that the people on this call who don't have a stutter will certainly agree with that. And people can sometimes react involuntarily to our stutter. It's not intentional. If you did not have a stutter and someone came up to you and had a severe block, if you are not someone who had been exposed to it, your initial reaction might be one of surprise. You are trying to assess what's happening. If we assume that people want us to feel bad, we will never have positive social interactions. We have to address it. And in my experience, 99% of people who showed an initial negative reaction will then be like, oh, okay, cool. And once that initial hurdle is dealt with, it's key to show interest in other people and their lives. It's not all about our stutter and how they perceive it. And I'm sure a lot of us have had encounters when we've met someone and their initial reaction was negative, but then that person became a friend. In my opinion, we have to give people a second chance. If, however, after we explain, they still give us the what the F is going on stare, then we don't need to put in the effort in that relationship. And so stuttering in those instances is an awesome screening mechanism to weed out the people that we don't want in our lives. Wouldn't we wouldn't we rather find out someone's true character right away, as opposed to investing months or years in a friendship or relationship only to find out the hard way that they are not cool? The fifth mindset shift is to not shy away from eye contact and from pausing, even if and when we are having a hard time. Eye contact is something that many of us, as people who stutter, have had a difficult time with. And I agree that it is also, as Adam mentioned, a matter of educating the public. It's the best thing to do when someone stutters is not to look away or to complete sentences. Rather, the other person should be there with us in the moment, like a beautiful meditation. Now, in addition to eye contact, there's also pausing. And think about all the mafia leaders in the movies, or the leaders of the cartels. If you've watched a TV show like Narcos on Netflix, do the leaders speak quickly or slowly? If you can answer in the chat. Do the bosses in the mafia hierarchies or the cartels, do those people speak slowly or quickly? Yeah, they speak very slowly because they know they have the power in the situation, and they could not care less if they made people wait. In fact, the people in those movies who are rushed and who are speaking quickly are the ones who are much lower in the ranks. I am not telling you to become a drug lord, but I am kind of telling you to speak like one. And remember, speaking quickly means that we are hey, if you do end up getting into that business with Deepa because it was my idea, I am entitled to a certain percentage of the profits. And I think everyone else here, we've all been your muse, so we all deserve a share. So when we speak slowly, it does imply being relaxed. When, however, we speak quickly, or when someone speaks quickly, it implies tension. Tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. The last mindset shift I'll talk about is the importance of being proactive socially. And of course, within the measures that you are comfortable with these days in terms of the pandemic and all of that. So these things apply to both the virtual world and the in-person world, of course. It's key to expose ourselves to these social situations again and again and again. Not every social situation is going to go well. Rejection and discomfort are a part of it. We are not owed anything by anyone. We do, however, broaden our destiny by exposing ourselves to people and opportunities that would not have happened had we allowed the stuttering to control us. Stuttering is real. And yes, people will often react to it. It is up to us to accept it, mention it, joke about it, continuously test our beliefs, and take action. I want to conclude before I take a few questions. There's a quote by the Sufi poet Rumi that I often think about. It says, "Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open?" I want to thank the CSA for having me today. Thank you, Eva, Lisa, and everyone else. And I will happily take a few questions for the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Yes, thank you, Joze. It's been wonderful hearing you speak and hearing your perspective. Now, we are, as Joze mentioned, we're taking any questions that you want to ask. Either turn off of your mute buttons and ask, or just ask in the chat. Either way you want to. Arun, what would you like to ask?
Sure. I wanted to ask because of in a session earlier on, we talked about journey over time. And I was wondering, being in the entertainment business, because I know you do stand up, that if you've ever had situations recently where people did not accept you for a gig because of your stutter, and how you react to that, let's say now in 2021 as compared to 15 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah, so one situation that comes to mind right now as it relates to stuttering is a show I was doing in Toronto a couple of years ago, and at some point someone in the audience started to boo, and he said, "Boo, the way that you speak is making my brain hurt." And in that moment, it definitely hurt me. I did answer back. I said that would imply the presence of a brain, and So in that moment, I did have a good response in a comedic setting, but I still remember still remember going back home that night and really remembering all of the negative memories from my teenage years and most of my 20s. And I remember I had another comedy show the next day in that same venue, and I thought about canceling it. I was like, I don't want to go back to that venue this this quickly after what had happened. But then I made myself go back. I also practiced a lot of meditation and things of the sort. So those habits help significantly. I went back on stage, and I do feel like the more I've replaced negative experiences with positive ones when it comes to stuttering and social interaction, it's as if we are diluting it in water, and the more water there is, the less bad taste is left from that experience.
Okay, well, thank you. And Carolina, you have your hand up. What's your question?
Do you know the release date for your documentary, Joze?
It's really great to see you again, Carolina, and Arun as well. So I'm not involved with the creative aspects of that movie at all. It was not my idea. That would have been very narcissistic of me. I had met that filmmaker early on in my journey. She mentioned it, and then things evolved, and as my journey evolved, so did the scope of her film. In terms of the release date, the pandemic has caused some delays naturally. If I had to guess, I would say end of next year, hopefully by next conference. We'll see how things go. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you. Now, any other questions? Anything else from anybody? Okay, well, Joze.
Actually, yes, I saw Eva speaking, but
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, sorry, Eva. Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, yes, if that documentary is ready by our conference, yes, we would love to screen it. Yes, please.
Definitely.
Woohoo!
Yeah, well, that's something to look forward to. And yes, Joze, just to say thank you for being a keynote at our conference. It's been wonderful. I know I really enjoyed your talk. I'm sure everyone else did too. So thank you.
You're a player.
And Joze, hey, Joze, my husband, he Italian, so I can do with this. My son. I just wanted to thank you so much, and I am sure that we have all loved this beautiful meditation with you tonight. Thank you so much for being here. It was just tremendous, really. I can't even, words can't even explain it. Thank you.
Thank you again, yeah, for having me, and thank you every person for making it. I know it was kind of late, so we didn't know what to expect in terms of attendance for a late night keynote, but I'm very grateful for all of you, and I wish everyone an amazing rest of the evening and of the conference.
And good luck to you tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, big hugs. Virtual
Thanks
hugs.
again, Joze, and see you soon again. I'm sure we'll all meet up again at some other event.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Gracias.
Good night.